Hi everyone, we're here for the TimePro Sprint Review 323 and the forecast for 324. So let's get stuck in. So here we have our Sprint 323 in review. Let's look down. First of all, the sprint goal was hit. So this is great. We've updated to Angular 12 from 10. So along with that has come major upgrades, and it's much more in line with the way Angular works with the more recent versions as well, like Angular 17, which is the end target for this. So it's going well, and we'll find that the future upgrades are even smoother. I'll talk about this a little bit more going forward, but let's continue. With us here, we have Mike, our product owner, myself, and JK. So who worked on this project this week? It was just me for the full week. As people who have been following might know, I've been the sole developer on TimePro for the last few weeks as we do these Angular upgrades. So here's the sprint backlog. So 11 and 12 were hit. They were done in one PR. And JK was very gracious in his time to review this. It's been merged, so that's the first big step out of the way. We're going to carry through Angular 13 to next sprint and do some more Angular upgrades next sprint, which I'm very happy about. So suggested timesheet usage, this hasn't changed. This is 62 out of 83, 74%. Automatic timesheet usage has roughly stayed the same within normal variation. The burn down chart is pretty crude. There was progress to the first two PBIs and also a fair bit of progress to Angular 13. But burn down chart shows that in a very simple way. Here we have code coverage. I'll just pause at these in case you're watching the review and you'd like to look at these details and more anymore, but there's no great changes there, so not too much to speak of. As we're just doing upgrades, we're not really releasing too much. So the last release was 15 days ago. The upside of this is that we obviously haven't hit any critical bugs that have required a release. So a good story. There's some more analytics here. Much the same. The application's been very stable because we haven't been releasing. In terms of the state of our epics, the epic that's been worked on at the moment is upgrading from 10 to 18 Angular, and we've seen a little bit of progress on that with Angular 11 and Angular 12. So that's going well, and will continue in the coming weeks. Yak Shaver usage, very few PBIs this sprint. Once again, can be seen as a good story, not too many bugs or anything. A few of these were manually created by me as I was working on the Angular upgrades, so it's most likely that most of the bugs seen here were created through Yak Shaver by external staff, if you take out the ones I did manually. So let's look at the retrospective here. We have our Angular 12 upgrades done. It's great. Upgrades from here should get smoother. Also, I'd like to mention that last week, if you saw that, we discussed emailing colleagues about how they might go about an Angular upgrade, trying to get general advice. The really interesting suggestion that came through from Callum Simpson and Luke Cook was to use vibe coding for this. That was also echoed by a fellow developer here at SSW, Christian. And I did this and it worked really well. So I used Visual Studio Code and just Copilot and dug into it that way. Sometimes using ChatGPT, and generally this gave us a lot of really good advice. It's a great application for vibe coding because it's looking at very historical stuff. So Angular 10 and 12, they're up to 5 years old, these kind of things. So there's been a lot of people who've gone through these upgrades, hit these things, a lot of documentation online, and that's where the code assist, AI assisted coding goes really well when there's a lot of content to look at. So that's been great, and I will continue to do that for sure. And it's been great for me as well, personal learning how to vibe code more effectively. So there wasn't too much to speak of in terms of what didn't go well and the improvements we'll make. It's really stable at the moment. Once again, as a developer, I'm very
what
happy
did you
about
use
that.
What did you use to vibe code?
Yeah, I used
code or
GitHub Copilot. using Claude Sonnet 3.7. So that was just suggested. I didn't try other models. I might do going forward, but yeah, I tend to keep it pretty simple. It was working for me. Yeah.
Didn't use Claude 4, the latest?
No, I didn't. No. But maybe I should do that for the next one. Yeah, wonder if I'd see a difference here. So I just wanted to highlight this as well because this is the big narrative about the upgrades. So we can see here, this is actually the current vulnerabilities with Angular 12, with our current packages, our current system, 83 vulnerabilities already in this working PR, working branch I have here for Angular 13. The vulnerabilities are coming way down. You can see 13 here. So yeah, it's a great story, these upgrades, and we'll only see that come down more and more, which is great. So we're moving forward here to the forecast. So here we go. The sprint goal for next one, let's get to 13. I imagine it'll still be a reasonable bump. Anecdotally, I've heard that once we get past 14, so 15, 16, 17, then we'll be able to, knock those off maybe in one sprint. But 13 and 14 still should be a bit of substantial work. So yeah, Michael, I will add a friend here. Cool. So yeah, an even simpler sprint here, just 13 and 14 to get through, which I'm pretty happy about. I know JK would be too, sitting on the sidelines. So yeah, that's the forecast for the next sprint. I'll just remove a few.
Can you maybe just expand on the AI, just because there's not much to show here? Can you just maybe expand on that, please?
Yeah, on how the AI was used.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I would. I'd love to get a demonstration going of me using it. I almost did that, however, I wouldn't want to have to sanitize it for sharing our internal code. But it was really quite useful. So you can just like copy in, error logs, and you paste those right in. And I was using agent mode, so it would then go ahead and just refactor things willy-nilly. What I found is that when it came to updating to the right packages, it was I think it's looked at a lot of package JSONs, so it knows if you're on 13 of package X, it's going to be compatible with package Y, purely because they're in the same package JSON committed to public code. So that kind of thing, it's incredibly good at. I can just see those two versions, and that's really a lot of this update work is knowing which package is going to be right, because although breaking changes should only really pop up when you're jumping up major versions or patches or whatever, it can even, errors can pop up, CSS errors. I was hitting a few of those, even just on minor package upgrades or downgrades. So yeah, that's where AI assisted code is really useful here. And it would actually just go and chuck that in myself, and then I could just yarn install and get the newest packages and yeah, go for it from there. So yeah, really useful. I didn't have to do a colleague here, Callum Simpson. He's great at like doing this kind of stuff. He just released a video recently on how to best use these. Let's see if we can find it. Oh no, that's not it. Let's go.
Whilst we're doing that, JK, what's your tool of choice if you're going to use AI to help you code?
Usually it's GitHub Copilot. I switch between GPT-4.1 and Gemini 2.5 Pro.
I tried Gemini. I've heard that's good.
Excuse me. Cup of tea went down the wrong place. I was going to say this morning, Claude code has been out for a while, but this morning Gemini launched their command line coding tool, so which is interesting.
I'll have to check that. Yeah, I'll just point anyone who's watching to this video by Callum Simpson. Yeah, assisted development for enterprise. He talks about a more considered, exhaustive approach to like how you might work with AI when you're working with AI assisted development. You can get it to write you out plans and you can step through those plans. I found that mine was a bit simpler. It was more trial and error. I would get it to update some package versions, go for it, that way, or update wholesale some class names in a certain file, and it seemed to work quite well. But yeah, that's a good note for anyone watching. Cool. So I think that brings us to the end of the sprint review and forecast. So yeah, been a good sprint and looking forward to another good one next week. For anyone watching, there's just 3 of us, but yeah, of course the video will be uploaded here as it always is on our SSW TimePro channel. Thanks everyone.